Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Being from Kansas, I never would have thought a show like this would have come out of Oklahoma City. Dark Fantasy. This episode from March 13th, 1942, and it's a truly scary show and an eerie show. This episode entitled Superstition Be Hanged.
Superstition be hanged.
Breathtaking performance on this afternoon's program, and just before the grand and glorious finale, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the one, the only, the incomparable, world's most daring trapeze performer, Flyer Samson. First time in history, Flyer Samson introducing his own original and sensational super trapeze stunt, the gigantic, colossal, giant swing flyaway, in addition to which Flying Samson will perform 2 1/2 somersaults onto that lofty swinging trapeze. The most difficult, the most spectacular, the most daredevil performance of all times, ladies and gentlemen, and you are about to witness it for the first time. So all eyes attention. I give you, high in the tent top, that supreme artist who refuses to use a net, the better to entertain you, Flyer Samson.
Barker? Oh, Barker.
Yeah, Ruby?
Do you think he'll make it?
Flyer? He can't miss.
He missed twice yesterday.
Yeah, that was before he found his trouble. Did 8 in a row after he got the hang of it.
Barker, don't say that.
What, Ruby?
The hang of it.
Oh.
You remember what Harajala said?
Yeah.
Is Flyer wearing the white feather?
I can't see.
Well, he pins it at the belt, on the left side.
Now, his left side's away from us. Anyway, his suit's so white we couldn't tell.
Where's yours?
Huh?
Where's your feather?
Yes. Inside my ring jacket. Here, see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a clever stunt, keeping your feather in your hair.
Yeah, it adds to my costume.
Oh, he's getting ready.
Oh, I hope he makes it.
He will.
He missed twice yesterday.
Yeah, but he hadn't gotten the hang... hadn't gotten the idea yet.
And he used a net yesterday. We should use a net till he's sure.
He's sure. Now, ready now. Watch. You do the giant swing on that stationary bar. Let loose. Fly through the air in a 2 1/2 somersault. Catch that swinging trapeze bar at the other end of the tent.
I know. I know. Haven't I watched him practice for weeks?
Yeah, the trick is to catch that swinging trapeze at the other end of the tent.
Oh, I hope he's wearing that feather.
Here he goes. There's the giant swing. Once. Twice. 3. 4. 5. He's in the air.
Grab that bar!
Oh, Flyer!
Good Lord, what's happened?
Look at him! Look at him!
I told him to wear the white feather with the spot of blood,
Rajala.
He is wearing the feather.
and I told him to. Now look at him, hanging there, caught in the twisted trapeze rope, hanging.
Excuse me. Oh, Ruby.
Barker, the feather. I couldn't find it in Flyer's dressing room.
Ruby.
Oh.
Come in, Miss, Ruby. I take it you're talking about the dead man's dressing room.
Why, yes.
Uh-huh. Thought so. Excuse me, please. Murphy, cover Samson's dressing room. Nobody in or out. Right. Now, Miss Ruby, suppose you tell me about the white feather.
Ruby. Police Inspector Guilfoyle. Inspector, this is Ruby Brooks.
Well, Ruby Brooks. I must say you don't look a bit like your pictures on the billboards.
All right, wise guy. I don't have to stick around here and be insulted. I know my rights.
Insulted? My dear girl, what I meant was you're so much more attractive than those horrible posters they have up all over town, honestly.
Ah, stow it. Barker, what's a copper doing in here?
Just asking questions, Ruby. Routine stuff, you know. Be nice to him.
Sure, Ruby. That's not a bad idea.
What do you want?
Just checking up. We run a pretty respectable town here.
And we run a pretty respectable circus, mister.
I'm sure you do. Except every now and then, somebody winds up in a casket.
Meaning what?
Oh, nothing.
You're trying to make something out of Flyer Samson's death?
Nothing more than it really is.
Well, he died by accident, see? And if you want some witnesses, brother, just advertise for any one of those 1,100 people who saw him die.
They tell me Flyer Samson was a first-rate acrobat.
He's the best in the business. I mean, he was.
They also tell me he was trying out a new trick today.
Yeah, new on the public. He's been working on it for 2 years.
And I also understand today's the first time he's tried it without a net.
So what if it is?
Strange, isn't it, that a man should die trying his new stunt for the first time?
I don't see anything so strange about it.
No? You use a net for your trapeze act, don't you?
What's that got to do with it?
Well, I was just thinking. With Flyer Samson not using a net and perfecting a stunt nobody had ever done before, was liable to put out your spotlight, huh?
Now, look here, wise guy. If you're insinuating
Ruby.
that...
Now, take it easy, baby. Take it easy.
I wasn't insinuating anything, Ruby. I was merely telling you what I was thinking. Now, Barker,
Yeah?
what's your real name?
Jeff Kilby. People in the business call me Barker Kilby.
And the young lady?
She's my wife.
I see. I presume you performed as usual today, Mrs. Kilby?
Naturally. I have the high spot of the program.
I'm afraid I rather disagree with you. The high spot seems to have gone today to Flyer Samson. Now, about the white feather. Well?
Barker, do we have to put up with this? After all, Flyer wasn't murdered.
Are you positive he wasn't murdered?
Of course I am. It was an accident. Ask anybody who saw it.
Then what's the white feather got to do with it?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Suppose you let me decide.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do, Ruby. Remember, the first thing you said when you come in here was you couldn't find the white feather in Flyer's dressing room.
I don't remember.
A very bad memory. And why, Ruby, if you're Barker's wife, did you knock before coming in here?
Oh, yeah, just a habit. We've only been married 2 days.
I understand, Mr. Kilby. You've been married 2 years. You see, before I investigate a case, I always do the preliminary work beforehand.
Well, we didn't announce our marriage until a couple of days ago.
I see. Now, about the feather.
There's no feather.
I rather think there is. Isn't there, Ruby?
You're blame right there is, wise guy. In your hat. And you're talking through that.
In other words, you won't talk, huh?
We've got nothing to say. Now or ever. Flyer Samson died by accident. And if you happen to find out he was murdered, we didn't have anything to do with it.
That the way you feel, too, Barker?
Sure he does.
Barker?
Yeah. Now, that's the way I feel about it.
Very well. I realize I can't force you to tell me about the feather yet. But I'll be around. Sure. I'll be around. Go on.
Barker.
Baby, you shouldn't have talked to him like that.
It's gone. The feather isn't in Flyer's dressing room any place.
Are you sure?
I searched the whole place. It isn't in there. And it wasn't on Flyer when it happened.
He couldn't have destroyed it.
Oh, we both begged him not to, but he might have.
Yeah.
He laughed at us when we told him what Harold said. Told us we were a couple of superstitious fools.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, but he finally promised to wear the feather just to please us. Well, he didn't.
And now that what Harold predicted has happened.
Arajala's predictions always happen.
Harold.
How did you get in here?
You've always taken me for a fraud. There's but one entrance to this room.
But you didn't come in that way.
No, I didn't, did I? How observing you are, Ruby.
What do you want?
Why, I just thought I should speak to you as a friendly gesture.
Speak to us about what?
About the white feather with the spots of blood.
Well?
It's a pity that Flyer Samson ignored my warning.
The copper's right. Flyer was murdered.
To the contrary. You saw him misjudge his distance, rush the trapeze rope with his shoulder, and become twisted in its coils.
Because he wasn't wearing the feather.
Yes, exactly. Because he refused to take my warning. I told the three of you, wear the white feather of a baby swan, spotted with the blood of a dove, lest a horrible fate overtake you.
He did say that, Barker.
Flyer Samson only laughed. Even when I gave him the feather for his own protection, he laughed.
But he took it.
Because I compelled him to.
But the feather isn't in his dressing room. Oh, where is it?
I have it.
You?
Yes. Here, you see.
Where did you get it?
From Flyer Samson, naturally.
He gave it back to you?
Oh, no. I gave the matter much thought. I disliked his laughing at me. I told him what I saw in his future. I told him that he, and you, Barker, and Ruby, all have the same fate. Death by hanging. And that fate can only be avoided by wearing a white feather of a baby swan, spotted with the blood of a dove.
How did you get the feather back?
I took it back.
Took it back?
Yes. Flyer Samson was a fool. He wouldn't believe me. Called me a fraud. He said he wasn't superstitious.
You stole the feather from Flyer. You knew he'd die if he didn't wear that feather.
Certainly. I saw it in his future. Just as I've seen it in yours and Ruby's.
You killed him.
He killed himself.
No, you did. You knew he'd die if you took the feather.
Barker, he laughed at me. I do not like being laughed at.
Why, you dirty rat.
Barker!
You killed him just as sure as if you strung him up yourself.
Barker, that knife!
Don't come any closer with your knife, Barker.
No, Barker, no!
I always knew you were a rat.
Regret it if you kill me.
I've never regretted killing a snake in my life.
Keep back.
Barker, no!
Yeah. So Flyer wasn't wearing his feather because he stole it from him. To revenge himself because Flyer wasn't superstitious.
Barker, he did.
Yeah, no loss.
Oh, why did you do it?
He had it coming. Flyer Samson was the best man in the business.
But that cop, he's still hanging around someplace.
We gotta beat it.
Where to?
I don't know. Anywhere, but we gotta beat it.
I'll go with you.
Go pack your things.
No time for that, Barker. That cop may be back any minute now.
I guess I lost my head. Seen him standing there, holding Flyer's feather.
Oh, come on. Got any dough?
Yeah, a couple of hundred.
I've got 50. Thank heavens I've got it with me. Come on, we've got to get ahead of that cop.
March 13th, 1942, Dark Fantasy here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of Dark Fantasy, Superstition Be Hanged, March 13th, 1942.
Oh, Barker, we shouldn't have taken this plane.
Yeah, it's the fastest way to cover a long distance.
I know, but so much money.
You want to get away, don't you?
Of course. Well, what are we going to do when the cash runs out?
Now we get a job.
Walking tight wires and swinging from tent tops, I suppose.
Now we'll go to Europe.
Sure, on $300.
Stop worrying, will you? You give me the willies.
Oh, if you just use your head.
I'll start that I told you so business, and so help me, I'll make you wish you'd kept your trap shut.
All right. Right. Well, what are your plans when we get to Frisco?
Now, we'll hide out in a cheap room in the house. Keep indoors most of the time.
I'm going to enjoy this.
Well, you didn't have to come along.
Well, maybe I'd be better off if I hadn't.
Oh, now, baby, take it easy. I didn't mean it. I just never been on the lam before.
Well, I have, and I don't like it.
Yeah, there's the airport. Yeah, we're on the ground.
We better hop a cab as soon as we can.
Right. Here we are.
Barker.
What, baby?
Look out this window. Careful, he'll see you.
Who'll see me?
Look for yourself.
That cop, Guilfoyle.
How did he get here ahead of us?
Yeah. How?
He's watching for us to get off the plane. Oh, what are we going to do?
You'll never get me.
Barker, think of something.
Easy, baby. Pilot just stepped out of the cabin.
What are you going to do?
You just wait and see. All right, brother. This is a gun in your ribs. Now get back there at those controls and see how fast you can get this plane into the air again. Ruby! Ruby! Ruby, wake up!
Oh, Barker, you frightened me.
Quick, the fire escape.
What?
I saw him.
Who?
Guilfoyle, the cop.
He see you?
Yeah, I think so. Come on, leave everything. You got the dough?
What's left?
And come on, down the fire escape. Hurry now, out the window.
Barker, look down below.
Go up, Ruby. They haven't spotted us yet.
Half a dozen cops down there.
Yeah.
How did that smart cop get on our trail?
I don't know. 6 weeks on the run, and he's still right behind us. Come on, baby. Here's the rooftop.
Barker.
Come on, come on.
Barker, I forgot the feather.
Oh, come on, come on. There's no time for that.
I've got to go back and get it.
No. I haven't got time. Besides, Harajal is dead. Nothing can happen to us now.
Oh, Barker.
Come on, baby. Hurry. Along these roofs until we can find a place to get down.
Barker, I'm frightened.
Take it easy. They won't get us.
Hunted like this. Always hiding.
Now, this way, Ruby. Over here.
Oh, I should have brought that feather. You know what Haradala said.
He's dead. The spell's broken.
It wasn't a spell. It was something he read in our futures. He said that because you and I and Flyer Samson were born on the same day that...
I'll have to jump here. One building to the other. Just a couple of feet. Here. I'll go first. Yeah. Now, come on, Ruby. Just a couple of feet.
All right. But it's so dark.
Can you see me all right?
Yes. Oh, Barker, maybe there's still time to get the feather.
Nuts. Just because Flyer Samson got his neck caught in that trapeze is no sign we're going to end up the same way. Come on now.
All right.
Now, just give a good jump. Yeah, that's it. Ruby! Good Lord. Those wires. Around her neck. Ruby! What's this? Someone's been in my room. Someone searched it.
March 13th, 1942, Dark Fantasy on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Mike Lindell and MyPillow launching the MyPillow 2.0. Now, when Mike invented MyPillow, it had everything you could want in a pillow. Now, nearly 20 years later, he's discovered a new technology that makes MyPillow even better. Of course, the patented adjustable fill of the original MyPillow, but now with brand new fabric with a temperature-regulating thread, it's the softest, smoothest, and coolest pillow you'll ever own. Say goodbye to tossing and turning and flipping your pillow over in the middle of the night. And more great news on the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer with my promo code Wyatt. MyPillow 2.0 is 100% made in the USA, 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to receive the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer. Use my promo code Wyatt or call 1-800-928-4715. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Dark Fantasy, Superstition Be Hanged, March 13th, 1942.
That cop. Yeah, that filthy copper. He's tailing me. I gotta get out. Gotta get out of here. Hop a freight. Yeah, that's it. I gotta get out before it's too late. With me. Only one boxcar and an open door. I made it just in time. Better close the door. Yeah, it's safe now. No one followed me. I'm sure of that. Tired. Running from that copper. Better find a place I can lie down. Rest. Yeah, that's what I need. Yeah, lucky to find an open boxcar with no one in it.
But there is someone, Barker.
Who's that?
Don't you recognize my voice?
It's so dark in here.
You remember Barker?
Who are you? Who are you, I say? I've got a gun.
Then why don't you use it?
Yeah, I will.
You couldn't miss in this small place, could you, Barker?
Who are you? What kept me from hitting you?
Your knife was more effective, remember?
Alajala.
Do you have the white feather, Barker?
Alajala. No.
Give me the feather.
No, anything but that.
I gave it to you once. I want it back again.
No.
Then perhaps I can convince you.
No, keep away from me. Don't touch me.
You can't see me, can you, Barker?
No, keep away.
There. You feel me? Now, hand me the feather.
Here.
Thank you, Barker. Now, I have all three of them.
Let go of me. I'm getting out of here.
Are you going to jump, Barker?
Keep away. Keep away from me.
We're picking up speed.
Keep away. Don't touch me again.
We'll soon be moving too fast for you to jump. You better do it now.
Yeah, I will.
You don't want to stay here with me, do you, Barker?
No. Oh, you got the others. You'll never get me. Ah!
You did jump. Poor Barker. And how pretty you look, hanging back there on that mail hook.
You have heard Superstition Be Hanged, the 17th tale of dark fantasy by Scott Bishop, originating in the studios of WKY. Ben Morris was heard tonight as Barker, Ermay Ray played Ruby, Garland Moss was the fortune teller, and Muriel Schofield was Detective Kurt Guilfoyle. Next Friday at this same time, listen to Scott Bishop's 18th story in this dark fantasy series, Pennsylvania Turnpike, the weird and exciting tale of an aged hitchhiker who, strangely enough, refused to accept a ride in any car which did not have a person with red hair as an occupant. Tom Paxton speaking. Dark Fantasy comes to you from Oklahoma City.
From March 13th, 1942, Dark Fantasy on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Part 2 of the 5-part Yours Truly Johnny Dollar story, The Clinton Matter. This episode, involving arson and murder, originally broadcast March 13th, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
David Baines.
Hi. How's it going this morning?
I'm staying off the streets. I don't want to be beat up again. I'd advise you to do the same.
I can't very well do that. The city of Clinton has filed claim for their school building. I have to make an investigation.
You're bucking a rough crowd, Mr. Dollar. Wait till you meet them all.
I intend to.
I admire you, but I think you're foolish. Good luck.
Just a minute.
What?
Not only did a school building burn down yesterday, but a man died in that fire. If there was something wrong with it, I want to get to the bottom of it. I expect help from you, too.
I'll stay here until I hear from
you. Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to United Adjustment Bureau, 418 West 61st Street, New York City. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Clinton matter. That's Clinton, Colorado. Expense account item 5, 80 cents, telegram to Dodd and Company, Denver insurance brokers, who would handle the policies covering the new school building in Clinton. I requested them to forward copies of the policies. Item 6, 10 cents, one copy of the Clinton Times and the full story on the fire. It was believed by Fire Chief Hanley that the fire had started because of overheated boilers in the heating system.
Dollar, is it?
Yeah, that's right. I'm an insurance investigator.
Yep. Well, what can I do for you?
Tell me about the fire yesterday.
You sound like you're carrying a chip on your shoulder, Mr. Dollar.
We had word that building irregularities were suspected in that school, Chief. The word came from the janitor, Julian Osborne. He burned to death in that fire yesterday, and the building's gone now.
You get as head up as you want to, boy. I got my own troubles. I'll tell you what we think, and you can take it, whether you like it or not. We think old Julian Osborne might have passed out, got drunk, or had a heart attack in that building. We think something like that happened, and the boilers kept right on going and built up the pressure. We think the boilers exploded, the fire started, and that was that.
And why do you think the whole place went down?
Because it spread so fast.
Why did it spread?
I didn't build the building. I just took care of the fire. You're going to have to change your attitude around here if you want anybody to cooperate with you.
All right, then tell me this. Why, on a day when school wasn't in session, would those boilers be fired up at all?
I don't know.
Chief, last night I talked to Sheriff Doherty, trying to get information about Julian Osborne. He didn't know anything either. I also talked to Florrie Hawkins, the school principal. She didn't know. Now you don't know anything. Who does?
I've done my job, boy. I've determined cause.
You've also given me a chance to look at you, which was about the only reason I came here. I'll get information elsewhere, Chief. There's some people in this town who want to talk and tell me things. You and your sheriff and whoever else is involved can't keep every mouth in this town shut. And I'll tell you like I told Miss Hawkins. I'm at the Northern Hotel, in case you remember anything.
I can't hear you, boy. Not one word.
Expense account item 7, $1.80, breakfast in the coffee shop of my hotel for myself and David Baines, who still looked badly battered from the beating he'd taken the night before.
You're taking a chance sitting here with me. Hope you realize that.
Am I?
I'm public enemy number 1 in this town. I'm the man who built the school that didn't stay up.
Look, Baines, I want you to tell me all about it. If you have any information or knowledge that would be helpful in this investigation, then you better give out with it right now.
What specifically do you want to know?
First, the town.
Do you know what this place is? It's a backyard. And only the rich kids can play here. Vickery, Hanley, Doherty, those are the rich kids, Mr. Dollar. The rest of us are, well, we live across the tracks.
Let's start with Vickery.
He's a builder. Not only here, all over these mountains. Grand Junction, Rifle Mesa, all over. He's got $1 million and a million angles. He's the one who sent me to Europe to study for a year after I completed my plans for the new building. Got me out of the way.
Okay. Fire Chief Hanley.
A friend of Vickery's. And any friend of Vickery's is going to get rich, one way or another.
Sheriff Doherty.
He keeps the law orderly for Vickery. Very necessary.
Okay, then. The fire itself. Chief Hanley says the school boilers blew up and caused the fire.
There was no reason for those boilers to be fired up. No reason. If they were fired to blow up. They had automatic shut-off equipment.
What about Julian Osborne?
You say he notified the broker in Denver that something was wrong with the building, and that's how you got here. I don't know. They might have fired it for money, too. I told you I was in Europe until they constructed it. I got back in Clinton 4 days ago. I went over to see my building. They used my outside drawing, Dollar. Wooden beams where I indicated steel girders. Only half the plumbing and heating system, other things. It looked like they'd made it up as they went along.
Did you talk to anybody about it?
Oh, sure. The contractor.
Vickery.
He told me to keep my mouth shut and be a good boy.
Do you think he got you out of town during the construction so you wouldn't interfere?
I think so. I'm not important, but it was the easiest way. I understand Mr. Vickery's a little unpopular today.
What?
A delegation went out to his house to hang him or something.
Baines was partially right. A delegation had gone out to see Roy Vickery in his polished pine domain at the end of town. They were still there when I drove up in my rented car. 20 or 30 irate citizens demanding an explanation for the lost school. 10 uniformed men from Sheriff Doherty's office formed a half-moon circle in front of the main entrance, their holsters unbuckled. The sheriff himself was directing the operation.
All right, just a minute there.
Hello, Sheriff.
Huh?
Johnny Dollar. I talked to you last night.
Oh, yeah. Chief Hanley called me about you.
The chief called you, and last night you called Florrie Hawkins. That was nice. Keep the wires burning.
Chief said you came over to see him. Used abusive language. Tried to cause trouble.
The chief was mistaken. I wasn't trying to cause trouble, Sheriff. There's enough of that in this town. I was just trying to find out how the fire started yesterday.
The chief told you how it started.
I didn't believe him. Now, what do you think of that?
You better watch your step around here, Mr. Dollar. You seem to be looking for arguments all the time.
Not at all, Sheriff. I'm misunderstood.
We understand you all right.
How's Mr. Vickery?
He's all right, and he's going to stay all right.
I'm sure he will. But these people don't like their school burning down. It's expensive. Also, their kids could have been in it. I want to see Mr. Vickery about that.
He isn't seeing anyone, Mr. Dollar. And we aren't letting anybody in to see him.
Really? Did any of you people hear that?
Now, look here.
Hey, listen, folks. Listen to me, will you? Look. Now, listen. I'm an insurance investigator. I'm worried about what happened to your school yesterday.
Keep quiet.
They tell me Mr. Vickery built that school. The architect who designed it said it wasn't built to his specifications. Now, I want to go in and ask Mr. Vickery about that. The sheriff here doesn't want me to do that.
I'll get you for this, Dollar.
Wait a minute. The sheriff just said I'll get you for this. All right, hold it. Hold it, please. Please, now listen to me. Listen. I'll put it to the sheriff again so you can all hear. Sheriff, I want to go in and see Mr. Vickery on business. Well?
Go ahead.
Thank you. At a direction from Sheriff Doherty, the wedge of deputies opened up long enough for me to walk through the wrought iron gate and up the steps to the Vickery mansion. A tall man in a white jacket answered the door and ushered me into a den that was stocked with good liquor and big leather chairs. Finally, a big man in a blue suit walked in. He had lots of good teeth, and there wasn't an ounce of fat on his 230 pounds.
I'm Roy Vickery. It was quite an act with Sheriff Doherty just now. I watched you from upstairs.
That's a good, safe place to watch from, Mr. Vickery.
Now that you're in, what can I do for you?
Tell me everything you can about that school building.
Mm-hmm. Has the city of Clinton made a claim yet?
Yes, $200,000, building and contents.
You got in town pretty fast.
We heard there might be something wrong with that building before the fire. Apparently there was.
Now, who told you a thing like that?
Julian Osborne. He's dead now, you know.
Oh? Well, 2 boilers explode and there's something wrong with the building. Is that the way you people figure?
Yep.
Well, so do we, and we couldn't find anything wrong.
Who's we?
Officially, we're the Civic Construction Department. We just had a meeting. We thought we ought to.
Yeah. I figure those people hanging around outside should be worrying.
Well, they don't worry me, and you don't worry me. A drunken janitor goes to sleep and lets the boilers kick up, and the joint blows apart and burns down. That's what we decided in the meeting. It was a terrible accident. We'll have to use an old garage or something for a school, but then we'll get around to building another school with the insurance money we have coming.
And that's that?
That's that.
Mr. Vickery, I'd like a copy of the specifications that went into that building.
Sure, anything at all. There you are. Okay?
That'll do for now.
Good. Now, you can get out of my house, Dollar. You smell smoky.
There were 50 pages of specifications on the building materials used in the construction of that school. They looked all right. They also looked as though they could have been forgeries. Expense account item 8, $6. 1 bottle of whiskey for David Baines and myself in my hotel room. Baines went over the specifications page by page. Okay, what do you think?
These are my specifications, more or less.
This is what's on paper that went into the building. How about what actually went into it?
Well, the little I saw, they cut corners everywhere. The outside was just a shell of this stuff.
You sure?
These are my notes. I can remember this much.
Can you remember it in front of a notary? I want a sworn statement.
I don't know.
You what?
Well, don't look at me that way. You can get my statement and possibly a half a dozen other statements. On paper, you'd have a case. Then what would you do? Go to the district attorney? We haven't got a district attorney. We got a county attorney who's elected for a 4-year term.
All right, I'll go to him.
Vickery?
Then I'll go to somebody else, the insurance commission.
You try to go any farther, they'll kill you, Dollar.
Well, let me worry about that. Now, will you make a statement?
Sorry. That'd kill me, too.
And that's the way matters stood in Clinton, Colorado, 24 hours after their new school building had burned down and a man had died in the flames. Everyone seemed to know it was all wrong, but no one was willing to do anything about it. Johnny Dollar.
Hello, Dollar. Roy Vickery.
Wow.
You go over those specifications?
Yes, I did. Very thoroughly.
Well?
I think they're fakes, Mr. Vickery.
I didn't ask you your opinion, Dollar.
But you've got it.
Well, I'm sure you're entitled to it. When are you leaving town?
Not for a while.
I was kind of hoping you'd be leaving like in about an hour. You'd make good connections then.
Sorry. I haven't really gotten around as much as I want to yet.
You saw me. I can tell you anything.
Oh, I'll get around to you again.
Get out of town, Dollar. Now.
Vickery, there are times when I don't hear good.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, a lady who promised to love, honor, and obey a building inspector, but wound up a widow. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by John Dawson. It is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
From March 13th, 1956, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Hope you'll stop by and look at all the things available over at MyPillow.com. Use my promo code Wyatt and save yourself a significant amount of money and support our program at the same time. MyPillow.com, promo code Wyatt. Thank you so much for tuning in. Would you do me a favor and thank this radio station and support their advertisers? It is their kindness and courtesy that allow us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite radio station. Now, if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show of our program. All of our shows are available on demand at classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. Stream our shows, learn about building a classic radio collection of our own. Find our social media links. And if you're so inclined to help support us, you can buy me a coffee. That buy me a coffee money goes to acquire additional classic radio collections and help us maintain our distribution channels. That is at classicradio.stream. And do me another big favor. Tell all your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.